Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. The hard choices, what we most fear doing, asking, saying, these are very often exactly what we most need to do.
You see people who do big things and you automatically say, that guy's so lucky, she's so lucky. You don't know that. You're assuming that. Going to work every day for 20 years and grinding your ass off and then becoming a multimillionaire, that's not luck. That's action and reaction. Quit using the word luck, quit believing in luck, and start believing in work. Start believing in results that come from your actions.
Stop telling your visions to other people because they're not going to see it. Why you think you keep imagining opening a business? Why you keep imagining graduating, getting a better job? Why do you keep imagining buying a house? Why do you keep imagining getting rich one day? Why do you keep imagining that? Because God is talking to you. He's showing you something that he has for you.
It's okay to be unbalanced for a while. It's okay. Don't be all this stuff people say. You got to be balanced. To be the best in the world at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of fucking energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great. And it takes being fucking obsessed to where people think you're crazy.
Let's go. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog?
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right.
All right, guys, that is what we are going to find out again here, as if we got it right. And we'll explain here in just a little bit. I do want to say this up front, guys. I'm very, very excited about this news. All right, guys, as bikers, we all know that unexpected things can happen, right? Now, many of us are prepared, obviously. I'm just trying to get set up in frame here. Many of us are prepared for mechanical issues, right, with our cruise tools, roadside emergency repair kits from the law-abiding biker store. That's right. We don't want to get stranded over just some minor repair. So, you know, a lot of us pack those tool kits, the cruise tools kits. Love them. Used them many times. But more serious than a motorcycle breakdown, which we all neglect this a little bit, it's an injury to you or someone you are riding with, right? Now, why should you risk not being prepared for that, bikeaholics, right? Okay, we're prepared for the mechanical, but are we prepared for, you know, somebody getting injured or crashing or something like that? We all know these things happen. That's why we brought the law-abiding biker first aid and trauma kit right to our store for a very affordable price, I might add. We really wanted to keep it an affordable option. So we've really given you no reason not to be prepared with a small and easily storable biker prepared first aid kit. We did prepare it. We looked through these things and we wanted it to have the right things and really meet the needs of what a biker would need. Kit comes with everything. We really thought it out. We wanted to also keep it, you know, small. We wanted the stuff you need without overdoing it, because you can go from here to here, right, and just be crazy with first aid stuff too. What are you really going to need? And we really thought that through, and so we've equipped the kit with those items. The kit comes with everything you need, such as a plethora of different size bandages, gauze, compression dressing, medical tape, latex gloves, whistle, scissors, rescue blanket, and most importantly, a military tourniquet that can absolutely save a life, guys. Tourniquets are super important for certain type of injuries, and you could save a lot of lives with those things. So we wanted to make sure it had a tourniquet in it. And all these items are inside a very tightly packed tactical nylon molly bag, measuring only 8 by 4 by 2.5. So you can stuff it down in your saddlebags easy. It's really hide it wherever you want. And best of all is that, you know, our design kit is biker approved because it has our name right on the outside of the kit. We branded it. Very proud of putting it together. This is not something you should have with you at all times, but a must-have at all times. Not a should, but a must, guys. And you know why. I don't need to tell you about that anymore. Get the Law-Abiding Biker First Aid and Trauma Kit right in the Law-Abiding Biker store. If Lurch is actually ahead of me, you've probably already posted a link to that direct in the chat for you.
I am not ahead of you. I was putting the link.
I'm talking the whole time here.
As you were talking, I was putting the link out on Facebook and stuff again. So we're getting some patrons popping in. And by the way, plethora is a fancy word for a shit ton.
Shit ton, metric shit ton.
And I'll put the link in right now.
Also, guys, if you do end up using the kit once you have it, the Law-Abiding Biker Kit, please drop us a line. Send us a story if you're willing to share. We would love to tell those stories just to prove a point to the rest of the community that these things really need to be. Now, I might add, while Lurch is putting that link in the chat for you, it'll also be in the show notes for all you folks that are listening months later, lawabidingbiker.com/whatever episode number this is. The only thing I would add to that kit, which we didn't want to put in there right away, it can be considered an emergency, maybe even a medical emergency.
I know where you're going.
But that would be a roadside dump. And if you got to take a roadside dump, I personally in mine packed a couple travel dude wipes, wet wipes, so you can freshen that arse up if you got to take a roadside dump. Because I have seen Lurch, and it actually can be an emergency. I've seen him kickstand his bike and run for the woods. So if you had those, that's the only thing I would add to that kit. I think you'll be really pleased with how we put that together. It's funny because we've been asked a lot for that over the years, and we just get busy doing stuff. And I'm going to be the first to tell you that I've been neglectful. Being 26-year police officer and all the shit I've seen, and even we've been with people that have crashed. And it's just one of those things that I'll admit, I am prepared now because I've got the Law-Abiding Biker First Aid and Trauma Kit, but I rolled without a kit, guys. And now I think about it, I'm like, that's really dumb. I have everything when I go on these long distance trips. Why would I not have a first aid kit? But it just gets put aside, or you don't think about it, or it won't happen to me. Or, well, I've been in groups where multiple times where people have been down. I've been down multiple times. So not having that, really, I look back, I'm like, what an idiot, because I know better. Lurch knows better. He rolled without one for a long time too. We're all guilty of it, but we brought it. It is affordable. We're really excited about it. Now, we are going to do a video on it too. So make sure you head over to the Law-Abiding Biker YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ryan Urlacher. Get subbed over there and all that good stuff. And we are going to do a video and an overview of this kit and open it up. But on the website right now, we have some really good pictures of all, and a listing of all that's in it and all that kind of stuff. And even a picture of it within a saddlebag so you can get an idea of the size and where you can fit that. So yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. Well, like I said, we have put a lot of time and effort into getting that in the store finally for you guys. We appreciate those kind of requests. So if you have anything that you would like us to put in the store, please never hesitate to hit us up, because it does eventually come to fruition. And Lurch is holding up a dude wipe right there, the single pack.
That's a great idea. Once you said it, I realized I grab them and throw them in my bike.
Yes.
But why not have a few in there just in case you forget?
Yep. Likely.
I like that.
Likely, we hope that's the only emergency you have.
Yeah.
And that is an emergency a lot of bikers have when traveling long distance, or short distance for that matter. All right. There you go, guys. All right. Shop pay installments. Don't forget, guys, right in the Law-Abiding Biker store. If you do need that kit and you don't have the coin for it right now, well, you can buy it, because you can make 4 equal payments interest-free. You can hit the buy button right now and you're good to go and making those payments. That's another thing people requested, and we brought it to our store. And
I got mail.
I think Lurch has an email he wants to share here.
Yeah, this email is from patron Jason Despain. He's talking about his boombox not working with the cable, meaning plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, this is Jason Despain. I have a question about the boom audio, and I watched your video. I still can't figure it out. You're not the only one, brother. I no longer use my cigarette lighter to charge my phone. I still use Bluetooth. I still Bluetooth my phone to the boombox. I've tried to use the USB in a little glove box, but it will not let me play music and says no media found. Is this an issue that can be fixed? Do I need to buy a WIM? I do not have Apple CarPlay. I usually just use Pandora. Any help would be greatly appreciated. I currently have a 2017 Ultra. I have the Boombox 6.5. I do not have the GTS. So he's got the 6.5 GT. And here is the answer. Jason, the USB connection in the jukebox compartment is very finicky in regards to changing cables. You'll need to try different brands of charging cables to see if one will activate it. If that doesn't work, you'll need to check the rear of the boombox unit to make sure the other end of the USB cable is plugged into the radio unit. They can fall out. Make sure to update your boombox software, make sure it's up to date. lawabidingbiker.com/Harley Boombox. That'll get you right to where you need to go. If all that doesn't work, then you have a lemon unit and it can't be repaired to make it work.
There you go. Thank you so much, patron member Jason Despain, for dropping us a question. And of course, lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he did that. You can leave a email like that. Better yet, we love hearing your lovely voices. So leave us a voicemail over there. You can leave a voicemail right from the microphone built into your computer or your cell phone right there. There's a little microphone button, and you can record a nice message for it. It is free, and we certainly love sharing those emails and sharing those questions, voicemails with the community, because it doesn't only help us. Obviously, there's no dumb question. A lot of those questions are helping, because a lot of folks have had that very same question, I guarantee it. And now that he's manned up and asked it, the rest of the community can also have access to that answer. Want to ride longer, Lurch?
Yeah, buddy.
You tired of your sore and achy ass?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, fix it with a high-quality butt buffer seat cushion. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Oh, yeah. Once you've had Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. Zero 3D, guys. That's right. It has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing, named Gold Strike. Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of Zero 3D products. What do you say we do this thing, guys? It is a live video broadcast and chat to our beloved patron members. That's right. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history. By being here, by listening, you're part of what we call
the biker revolution.
There you
threw
go.
me for a loop. You didn't give me the hashtag.
We have just one question for you before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Always changing things up, Lurch. Keep us hopping. Keeps me hopping, too. Ryan Erlacher, you're the host of the Law Abiding Biker podcast, and of course, your
high-tech redneck.
Why don't you, new free video. We're pumping out videos like crazy for you guys on the YouTube channel. We're getting close to 200,000 subscribers, so please share our videos around. And if you haven't subbed, please just take the time to hit that sub button. Subs don't mean a ton anymore to YouTube, but it is social proof, and it definitely helps things out. So we appreciate just hitting that sub. Doesn't cost you a dime. This is one of the many new free videos that we're getting around to announcing right now, Lurch.
This is a must-check Harley-Davidson Milwaukee 8 oil leak issue. Make sure you check it for your safety. What we're talking about is in 20 or 21, Harley started automatically putting vents on the primaries, and to do that they drill a hole in the back of the primary and they put a little grommet and tube that comes up out of their vent tube and allows the primary to vent pressure so it doesn't build up pressure and create a suction and migrate oil. What we found out was Oscar's got a 2021 2021 CVO Ultra, and it was oil was spraying back across the back of his motor transmission kind of area, and it was just collecting up, and to the point where it started dripping a little bit, and he got in there and could tell that there was quite a bit of oil. We got a hold of our local Harley shop here after doing some research on the internet and finding out that several of these bikes were having a leak in the same place. And once we told our tech down here at a local Harley shop, he says, I know exactly what it is. They didn't pull the tube in all the way through the primary so that it wasn't seated properly, and so it wasn't sealed, so it allows oil to go through there. So quick video you can check and just look back there and make sure yours is seated properly and you're not losing any oil.
Bottom line, Oscar's got the drip.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we appreciate our sponsors up front. These folks are also sponsors of this episode and every episode. We love them so much. They're some of our newest beloved patron members that we'd like to thank.
We got Kent DeLang of Boolaroo, Australia. Stephen Davis of Bishop, California. He's top tier. And Craig Johnson of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Andre Beddard of Coeur d'Alene, Canada. Caller and Canada. My apologies. Nathan Horton of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Charlie Taylor of Bicester, UK. Shout out UK. That's right. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. There are benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to that private Facebook group, which really is nothing but bikers helping and connecting with bikers. Remember, troll-free zone in there, guys. All right. Access to store coupon codes. That's right. Live video broadcasts and chat, such as this. Premium videos up on request, and of course, access to those ride meetup and events. And we are really ramping things up here in 2023. The patrons continuing to come in. And let me just say this. Did you raise your hand, Lurch?
Yeah, I was just
go ahead, and then I'll say what I had to say.
Before you got into the main topic, I just want to say this before it got too far down in the chat. But one of our new patrons from Holland, Naomi de Wert Delstra, was asking about renting a Harley Road King. I want to know where we recommended it. She's going to come from Holland and start her trip in LA. I recommend Eagle Riders. That's who I've rented through before and had good luck. I've rented through
them too. And we have no affiliation with them, but I've had good luck with them.
So anybody else in the chat, if you've got any suggestions for Naomi, pop that in there for her.
When I was in Hawaii, in Oahu, I also rented directly from the Harley dealership, and I had good luck there too. So I haven't had a bad rent experience from either directly through Harley or Eagle Rider. And I just want to say, patron members, I know we're here live, video broadcast and chat, and you may be watching afterwards the recorded version of this, patron members, because you get this months, not only live, but months before everybody else. And I just want to say that more than ever, we appreciate your patronage. And let me explain. It kind of goes along with this episode a little bit. We've made some big decisions, but we know that it's tough times. Let's just face it. Inflation's out of control. Gas prices are high. Food prices are out of control. It's affecting everybody's family budget. It is affecting heavily law-abiding biker media. We're still doing great. We're going to keep plugging forward, but we've taken a huge hit. And you know, things happen, and when budgets get tight, all the extra stuff goes away, such as buying extra motorcycle parts. So every purchase that everybody makes, not just patron members in the store, really helps out. We appreciate that. And then these becoming a patron right now, a lot of people, and then all of you maintaining your memberships right now is just very humbling to us here, because we know that a lot of those things can go during tough times. And the fact that you guys are sticking with us and helping us try to ride this wave, things got to get better eventually. We just don't know how long. And all businesses, it's just tough times. Supply chains effed up. That doesn't help us, because if we can't get the products in our store, we can't sell them. So I'm not going to get in any deeper than that, other than thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, for sticking with us, maintaining memberships, even people, all the new patron members. We're going to continue the benefits, this community, even through these difficult financial times. So we know it's tough for you. It's tough for us too, for Law Abiding Biker Media. Lurch knows he does all the finances right now, and we go over monthly budget reports, and it's been tough. It's been tough, but there's some cool things we're doing regardless. And we're going to talk about this in this episode. So if you haven't signed up as a patron member, please get signed up. Warren Buffett says, when everybody else is greedy, be worried. When everybody else is worried is the time to be greedy. Basically, it's time to take some calculated risks the best you can, which is what we did right now this year. It's been in the plan for a long time, and we're going to call it the Big Lab Expansion. And we're going to break down what we did. The timing is interesting because of the economy. And so I would be lying if I said that I didn't have a lot of worry over our expansion. But I was calculated the Warren Buffett saying, right? When everybody else is holding back and worried, basically what he means is everybody else is scared. That's the time that you should really look at being greedy in a nice way, of obtaining things and expanding when other people are too afraid and they're just sucked up in a corner. But that's not an easy decision, which is why I played that video up front, a little inspirational video, because you got to dig deep sometimes. And we dug deep, not only in our hearts, but our budget and pockets. And so It's also a very exciting time. Yes, sir.
This is live, and this is a live podcast. We got our patrons in here, so I just want to recognize Terry McDonough. He just upped his patron pledge live here. Just came through on the email. So Terry, thank you so much for that.
Wow, Terry, been a long-time patron member. Amazing guy. Spent some time with us. He's also looked back in the back catalog. He was interviewed on podcast and did all the metal benches, the beautiful metal benches in the law-abiding biker shop. Free of charge, fabricating and shaping sheet metal. I went down and met him down there. And no, Terry, I don't have that documentary. We shot it, and I'm sorry. Life has been very, very hectic, but it is something that I want to do. So I apologize. I have it all saved on RAID drives, all the footage, your interview, everything. I'm sorry. I have more footage. Here's the deal. I record everything, and then some stuff never goes through to production. I'm not saying that won't. I'm just saying a lot of stuff does. We got to grab it when we can grab it. But man, I've been busy. But I know Terry understands. He's a good guy. All right. So we've got a long-term plan. So the law-abiding biker store, it dates back quite some time. And I forget what the year was that we actually started that. It was a couple years after.
Right.
We've been almost 10 years now, guys. And a couple years after we started the podcast and the YouTube channel and all that, decided, we need to monetize. I couldn't keep working for completely free. So we started patrons. Obviously, that's a huge income, stream for us to help, support this platform so we can continue to, help educate and entertain as many bikers as we can worldwide. So 10 years, a couple years after we did start the Patreon and we started the store. I didn't really know what we were doing or what I was doing. That's pretty much been how this business went, is I just kept trying to learn stuff.
We're not your typical entrepreneurs and businessmen. We've just kind of done what we thought was right along the way. And
yep. I would say we are now.
Yeah, we weren't
10 years later. We were not in the beginning. I've never ran a store or an online store So we dove in and we started with our beloved biker gripper. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a real quick recap.
Out of your garage.
Out of my garage. Now, when I first started, the biker gripper cell phone mount was all that we were selling. I got the store up. My wife was packaging stuff along with my young daughter. She was helping box for money. And quickly we decided that wasn't going to work. My wife, obviously, I work 2 full-time jobs, and then my wife does because, she works full-time, and then she's taking care of a lot of the family stuff because I'm doing this. At that time, Big Daddy Kane, we proposed, and he came up with a proposal too, and it seemed to fit right, and it still does to this day. And Big Daddy, we decided, would take over the law-abiding biker store as far as being the store operations manager. And thus we started bringing in more products. We started building out the online store. As far as facility, and jump in anytime you want, Lurch, but as far as facility goes, so we started out in Big Daddy's garage. He was nice enough to allow us
move his cars and stuff out to give us some space in his garage. Yeah.
Yep. And so that was right at his residence. And so we started getting Bug Slide and Bike Bright and, of course, biker grippers. And we just started adding, not knowing exactly what we were doing. And then we got hit in the effing nuts. And a lot of you that go back with us, dating back to December 18th, 2017 at around 3:30 p.m., the entire law-abiding biker store burned to the ground, along with Big Daddy's garage and home. Lost it all. So twofold there. Lost a store, obviously, but the bigger thing is, we lost Big Daddy's house. Luckily, he wasn't injured. He was actually asleep in his room attached to the garage. There was a wall between that and the garage, if I remember right, because that was connected before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily, he woke up, was able to get out of the house. But so not only during this time, we've got no product left. We've got nothing. We've got no storage facility. Big Daddy's out of house. And he's my store operations manager. So not only did the struggle start for him to get reestablished. He's in that sense built a new home on the same property. They tore down the older one and a new garage, but we realized at that time, the other thing, yeah, I know you want to talk about learning the hard way and being an entrepreneur is we didn't have any insurance. You guys may remember that. I didn't insure our inventory. We were building so fast and so rapidly that never crossed. I've learned a lot of hard lessons over time in this business. I've learned a lot of fun things too and positive things, but I've been hitting the nuts quite a few times. That's the nature of owning your own business, I guess. But that one hit me in the nuts hard because we lost it all. And every last bit of inventory, I won't put a number on that because I'll probably cry. But we lost
a sizable amount.
And we had built that over time. I was just putting all the money back into the business, which I have done for years and years. Is how we build. Is just everything we made, I dumped back in and bought new products and expanded the store. I didn't take any income from this business for many, many years. I just dumped it all back in, built this studio. We dumped it back in. We're dumping more back in now, which we're going to get to. But anyways, so he rebuilt. We were able to we basically started over and got more inventory as we got money. Some of our vendors were very friendly with us and actually fronted us product to sell and up front, and then pay them back after we sold it until we could build our funds back up to start the repetition of buying inventory and putting it in the store. So from there, we realized once we rebuilt that the garage at his property wasn't going to work, especially when we started contacting insurance companies now, because I realized, that was bad.
They tend to not want to insure store inventory. My brain ain't working today. Inventory that's stored on your property. It was really difficult to find somebody that would insure it in a garage versus in a commercial
found
space.
Nobody.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, nobody.
Yeah. We found nobody. So we realized we needed a commercial space, but we couldn't afford. Obviously, it wasn't even to buy a building was like out of the question. We knew that we needed to rent something, so we were very crafty, or I should say Big Daddy was. And we realized that maybe we can work out of a storage unit for a while. So he got a storage unit. We actually rented multiple storage units that they could get in and out of. And I bought him, obviously they had a laptop and a printer, and I bought him a big backup battery thing because the storage unit had no plugs. And that big battery, they were able to run their laptops.
They'd have to run home, take the battery with them occasionally, but they'd have to take the laptop, keep it charged up. But the battery kept them going in case they lost power, or they
didn't have power. They ran solely off that
in case they lost power on their battery, their laptop.
Yeah,
in case it died. So I had to get ingenious.
Yes, very much so. Which hopefully that video up front is coming to fruition now while we played that. But we just did what we had to do to scrape by and survive and try to build with a bigger vision for Law Abiding Biker Media. A future that we've talked about a lot of where we were going to be, but that we'd have to struggle and, in the meantime, struggle. But they worked very efficiently out of those storage units where all our product was for quite a few years. And then we realized that we kept growing because of the audience and all you awesome bikers out there and patron members. And we realized that we need a more bona fide storefront, so to speak.
If we were going to expand and start carrying more products, a lot of suppliers require you to have a brick and mortar store. So we had to come up with something that was more like that, not just a storage unit.
Yes. And there's some chat going on. Somebody from the Netherlands there.
Yeah, that's Naomi. Yep.
And I'll just tell you that in our store, she says, I see a lot of things I want to buy in the online store. Do you ship to the Netherlands? And what will it cost to send? So here's the deal. I don't know everywhere we ship. I don't run that part of it. Big Daddy does. But I know how our store is set up because I do the website part of a lot of it. The way it works is you buy the product, hit the buy button, put it in your cart. It has real-time shipping figures. So if we do ship to the Netherlands, it'll tell you it'll ship and it'll give you the exact cost for the carriers. Understand, even our Canadians up north, everybody, shipping international is effing expensive. And there's nothing we can do about it. It is what the carriers charge. We have real-time shipping in our store. So it'll take your address and it'll tell you to ship that weight item, then it's going to cost you this much. And we don't make that up. That is real-time carrier and packaging. We add a little bit just for packaging, but the rest is all the shipping. So it's that easy. I can't tell you for sure. I'm sorry. He changes that store operation. We have a lot of problems. Netherlands isn't one of them, but I know we stopped shipping to Russia. And I apologize if you're listening in Russia, but everybody was trying to scam us.
Too much
it was
fraud.
all fake fraud, fake credit cards, and we rarely sold anything to Russia anyways, legitimately. So he has to make decisions based on fraud and all that kind of stuff of where we can ship. So that's the answer to your question. Thanks for being in the chat, and thanks for being a patron member. We appreciate it very, very much. But that's an easy way to find out.
Another thing you do, Naomi, is a lot of times when folks come to the U.S., like I saw you were going to come and ride out of L.A.
Oh, yeah.
Then you can order and have it shipped to your hotel and throw it in your
there you
carry-on or suitcase and take it home with you.
Yeah, good call. Good call. So from there, actually, let's do this real quick. And we're building up to kind of telling you what we're doing, but I wanted to give a lot of people don't know the whole history, and it's been a long time since we've been over it, so I at least wanted to tell you guys about that. So let's do this real quick, like Lurch.
Hey Bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? 03D has products you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley-Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. 03D's got your back with chrome, black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation. That equals less time installing and more time riding. 03D has a design team of riders with over 40 years experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@03d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check out your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out 03D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of 03D products. And I will add, David Schwartz, who's in Israel, says that he's talking about purchasing from the store.
Oh, yeah.
Says that's why I wait until I'm in the States, then I restock.
Yep. He can tell you it's just expensive to ship. And then, like Canada's got the, what's the thing we deal with Canadians all the time? The import.
Or some kind of import fee where they've got to pay to get it over the border.
And all that. We don't control any of that. Although some people think we do. They get rather angry, and we're like, we're no different than any other online store. These are the rules that we have to play by, and you have to play by the rules of the country you've chosen to live in.
Maybe we'll get lucky and have a law-abiding biker Canada someday. Who knows?
Oh, yeah.
I got to have goals.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Now you're talking. All right. So we realized we needed a more bona fide storefront. Also, as you become a middleman, a reseller like we are, we have multiple different distributors that we get product from. A lot of them, and there's still some we can't get, but this is why we're excited. There's some we can't get. Like, we're not a Drag Specialties right now. The reason is we're Tucker Rocky. Those are, big, huge, what do they call them? Distributors. And so we're a reseller, but to get a distributorship, a lot of them require still a brick and mortar, which doesn't make sense to me. I've argued it for years, and I've asked people, and nobody can explain it to me. Even people in the business world, it's like an old thing where you can sell as much as you want online, but they still require you to at least have a brick and mortar. And I don't know if it's just to protect the small guy, but I don't know what interest they have in that, honestly. Who knows? But nobody can answer it for me. So, yeah. But you basically, if you do have a brick and mortar where people can actually walk in certain hours a week and actually buy whatever limited products you have there, as long as you have that, then Drag and some of the other guys will let you have a distribution. Now, you can sell 99% online. They don't care, as long as you have that little tiny brick and mortar operation along with your online business. It's the way it is. Now, we've sold so much stuff that they've a couple of the vendors have went around, skirted that a little bit because they realized. So I think some have changed a little bit over time. If you're, we're well known online and they want to get in front of us. And so we've kind of proven ourselves. And so some of them were like, we can work around that. But drag, for whatever reason, they wouldn't work around it. So anyways, that was one of the reasons, but the other reason was just a more official commercial spot and more space. And so we were in a position doing fairly well back when the economy was still really good and booming, and we're building the store out. So we got in the Tri-Cities, Washington, Richland, Washington to be exact. We got a facility down there. That's where currently the Law Abiding Biker store resides. We lease that building. We actually have multiple spaces down there. It's a large and commercial building. It's got other businesses in there. But that let Big Daddy, who's still running the store, and of course, Goat's down there. He's works for Big Daddy, and he does a lot of the more shipping and packaging and answering emails and stuff. So does Big Daddy, but he's also the manager down there. And we've had Scooter in there before, and I know Squid and other guys, Fuente. Some of the other guys that are behind the scenes at Law Abiding Biker Media also have helped, down there with shipping and stuff like that. But the reason we got it in Richland is Big Daddy Kane is a full-time police officer down in that area. And because we're a bootstrap company, I'm working full-time at that time. Lurch is retired now, y'all know, but he was working full-time. I'm doing the business. Big Daddy's working full-time. He's also a store operations manager. We're just winging this, guys. We've winged this for years, trying to make this work and serve bikers, knowing that there's a bigger picture, and Lurch is retired now. I'm getting closer. Big Daddy, that's one of the biggest reasons we made the decision that we made here in 2023 is he was running it down there, of course, on his days off and after hours, shipping stuff out, adding stuff to the store. He announced to us last fall, we sat down at a meeting, Lurch, Big Daddy, and I, and Big Daddy gave the affirmative that he was retiring for sure in June of 2023 from law enforcement. And we had talked for years. The big plan is as soon as he gave me the green light that he was going to retire, the big plan was, and the discussion that day was that he would come to Law Abiding Biker Media on a more full-time basis. And he would only have to work one job, right? Instead of doing two. But the biggest part of that conversation over the years was when you retire, as we expand, because when he retires, you can have more time, which we can see, we can scale up, we can add more products to serve you guys in the store, which means more sales, right? You get it. Technically speaking, this is how it should go. But the big deal was we were going to move all operations up here. We're based out of the Yakima, Washington area, which is about a little over an hour northwest, so to speak, of where Richland is. And also, it makes, because Lurch is chief operations officer, and so Lurch really oversees everything. And then he also oversees Big Daddy, although he doesn't have to do much of that, but because Big Daddy,
I think some days he oversees me. Just kind of depends on what's going on.
Yes. Technically speaking, the structure is chief operations officer, and then Big Daddy's the store operations manager. And so Lurch kind of, he wears a lot of hats like all of us, but that's kind of the structure. I'm the CEO, and then Lurch, and then Big Daddy, and so on. So that's kind of how we structured it. But we want operations up here because Lurch is up here and I'm up here. And as we get bigger, sometimes Big Daddy may not be able to be up here all the time, and we can swing by and do something or grab something, or we can check in if we get more employees. And just having all operations based out of the Yakima, Washington area just makes sense for us as a company. We can just have our hands on everything. So with that said, that's the news that we have, and we're going to tell you kind of how this went. We've got some kind of interesting stories. We decided that with the news Big Daddy gave us in the affirmative, we told him that day that we were going to shop and buy a new building for him. Something that's bigger that he can work out of, and we can expand exactly as we've talked over the years, operations. And so Lurch and I began the process, and not knowing if we were going to be able to buy a building, We want to buy a building for a couple reasons. Is obviously we've been leasing for so many years, and that's cool. That's all we could afford. And maybe all we still can afford, but nonetheless, we were leasing. And so, with a lease, you're kind of throwing money away, right? But not everybody can get to a point. And like I said, I've always put money back into this business. That's been the way we've grown it over 10 years, is I just haven't taken a lot out of it. We've just built. And so we saved up for quite a long time, knowing that that this was a possibility. As Big Daddy had been discussing it over the years, we weren't sure, but he gave the affirmative, and we had been building up to this. And so we had a bunch of money set aside, enough, I should say not a bunch, but enough, to where we could make a decent down payment on a building that would hopefully keep our payments at a reasonable level. So Lurch and I went on the scour, I guess.
We started looking. Yeah. I've got a buddy who's a real estate agent. He turned us on to a site that helps you find a lot of commercial properties. So between him looking and us looking, there is a lot of property in Yakima and Union Gap, which is just, it's attached to Yakima, south of Yakima. A lot of stuff for lease. But like Ryan said, we wanted to see if we could find an opportunity to buy something. And there wasn't a whole lot out there on the market, not much available. The first place that we looked at was about 1,500 square feet or something like that. It was a small place. But it was a tax business that was only open during tax season. And the family that owned it, the mother and father passed away, and it was left to the daughter. And when we went down to look at it, we had to kick 2 or 3 bums out of the parking lot. You could smell the urine and feces, and there was just trash everywhere. But we saw the building itself was structurally sound. It's going to need a little bit of work. But we saw the diamond in the rough there, and made an offer on it that was what we thought was generous enough for the condition that it was in, but it was not accepted. And do you want to talk a little bit more about that property at all? Or
do me one favor,
yeah,
because your live your thing. You need to put your mic over like this and get your stand out of your face. There you go. Good. I just noticed that.
Okay. I don't know if anybody wants to see my face.
Oh, okay. They want to see your lovely mug. But yeah, it was and like I said up front, this was you guys got to understand that we made this decision. When did we have the meeting with Rick? In October? It was in the fall, yeah. In the fall.
Yep. We started looking right away, but we didn't find anything to start looking at until, was it December?
I think so.
December's that first one that we found.
Yep. And so this is what I get back to is, you guys got to understand the economy at that time. And now we see it tanking, and we see store sales down, and we see, a lot of different, even YouTube AdSense, all the different income streams we have are down. And, timing is everything. And sometimes it just seems that everything's against you. But we had a long conversation, Lurch and I, like, are we going to do it? Going back to that Warren Buffett. When everybody else is worried and pulling back, are we going to try to be greedy and nab a building up that otherwise we might not have an opportunity to do when everybody's fat and happy and loaded and expendable income? And we both decided that was the route we needed to go, and we needed to get going right away, because June's going to come before you know it, and Big Daddy's going to be retired. And so, we buckled down, and that was kind of, we were going hot and heavy, looking around. And, one of the big things is, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's the way that, things work, I guess, in the society we live in, a capitalist society. And that is, and I'm all for capitalism, by the way. I love capitalism. But, what happens here in this town and a lot of towns is you have these big, huge, rich corporations. And so we're just little guys. We're a bootstrap company trying to help bikers. And so you have these large corporations, especially in the fruit industries here in the Yakima Valley. And what happens is they have so much money, they can literally buy these buildings and sit on them. And so a lot of them...
Yeah, especially with agriculture, with the fruit industry, when the economy is doing well and they're selling a lot of fruit, they got so much money, they got to just spread it around. They don't want it all in one place. So they are buying up property that they won't do anything with for quite a while. So it's hard for us little guys. I mean, stuff sells right away in the price range that we were looking at. So we were looking at something small if we're going to be just us, and then we were looking for something that maybe had some other income revenue, whether it was one property we looked at had some parking on it. So we were thinking about fencing it off and putting storage in it. We looked at some that had more than one tenant. But again, it was really hard to find something in our price range that somebody wasn't just walking in and buying cash. That's another thing that makes buying these properties really difficult. When you're going up against some of these big fruit companies here in the Yakima Valleys, they can just pay cash for it. We couldn't do that. So it was a struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, so a lot of these guys, can buy buildings out from under you before they've even hit the market because they've got so much money and they've got brokers. Anyways, with that said, maybe even the big companies were taking a little bit of a break because we finally found, Lurch alluded to it a second ago. We wanted it something that we'd be able to subsidize a little bit. So the first building that didn't go through, that was an offer of cash anyways. And if we got it, cool, we just wouldn't have any payments, so we wouldn't need to subsidize it. But the bigger buildings, as we got into the higher price tags, we realized that we were really looking for something that maybe, especially for now, that we could lease half of it and make the payment for it, or at least close to the payment, and we could occupy the other half. And also something that, will help the company expand. Because as you know, most companies and people eventually, get some real estate in their portfolio. And if nothing else, we'll talk more about the building. We found one, I should say, and it seemed to be right. And it was one that we're able to subsidize. And we're going to break it down and give you a little more. We're excited about this, about what we were able to actually purchase. And we basically saw it, and we jumped on it like next morning. We told our broker, because we know these big guys, if it sits for a day or two, we were just ready to frickin' go. We knew we had to pounce like tigers on this thing, man, because before the sharks out there, tried to eat it out from under us, basically.
Yeah, it came on, I think, a Friday evening or something like that, and we had it set up to be the first appointment Monday. My friend Dustin, who was our real estate broker, got us the first appointment. Yep. We had to jump on that bad boy.
Yeah, buddy. All right. So now we're going to get into kind of what we built, what we bought, and tell you a little bit more about it, and maybe, gives you idea of location and what our overall plans are as we go further into 2023 here. Let's do this.
Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and slap your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's. I don't read this one very often. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick attach strapless luggage rack systems. This father and son team designed something really special that you can't find anywhere else. Yep, these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use the Rick Rack, you'll never go back. What are you waiting for, Bikeaholics? Head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. LawAbidingBiker.com/store.
Rickety rack. All right, guys. So we are so excited, and we did find this building. And now, I've never bought a building before. In fact, the last piece of real estate I bought was this home and property, which was like 23 years ago.
And I was right there with you. That's about when I bought mine.
Yeah, it was really close to the same time. So, I tried to take the process. It's commercial, so that's different. It's not residential. It's zoned commercial. And so I tried to take the process. Actually, it was busy. It was a very busy over a month. We wanted to close on it fairly quickly. And we were looking, I think that was the latter part of November, December, and we were supposed to close. Of course, we all know, well, I know now, things don't always close on time, and there needs extensions just due to like inspections, holidays. Yep. Yeah, no doubt. Things like that. But so we were going through the holidays during this before Christmas. And, technically I'm the buyer. And so we started a different LLC. We won't get deep into that, to purchase that building. So there was that, attorneys, because we had to form a LLC. We're an S Corp, Law Abiding Biker Media, but we have another entity for that. And all the back and forth and paperwork that's involved in that. It was quite the process. And I was a busy dude. Luckily, I had a lot of time off from the other job, vacation during the holidays. So I was really able to devote a lot of time and keep this thing going, because at every corner it can stall. And you're back and forth with the broker, back and forth with the attorney, back and forth with insurance companies, back and forth with the other broker for the buyers, and blah, 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 and inspectors and this and that and the other thing, and everybody, the title company. And it's not for the faint of heart, I will tell you that. But I tried to have as much fun and learn during the process, because I do find these things fascinating. As Law Abiding Biker Media grows, I try to, as much as I can, enjoy a lot of those processes. Who knows in the future? We'll see where it goes. But this particular building we bought, we have the option, if we find something else or we need to expand later in the future, that we could just keep this building and rent out both sides, and have it as a property. But that's not what we're doing right now. Let's dive into the kind of, I've been talking a lot. Why don't you kind of tell them what we found? You don't have to give names of businesses that are in there right now, or exact address. The reason I don't want to give the exact address yet, guys, is because we don't want people returning stuff there and mailing us stuff there, because technically speaking, we still have a couple tenants. One's going to move out, and one's not, and we're going to acquire one side. They're addressed, separate addresses. So it's not that we don't trust anybody. We're going to give everybody the address because it's going to be our new address, but we just don't want it. It's premature. But why don't you kind of tell them where it's at? You already kind of alluded to that. And then, how old the building is, and kind of what the process was for us talking about the price, because it's not the newest building.
No, it's not.
So why don't you just roll with that
Absolutely.
for a little while?
So it is in Union Gap area. That, like I said, that's attached. It's a suburb of Yakima, just south of Yakima. And really, the two blend together for the most part. And it is a retail building. It was built in the 40s, and it's a brick structure with a flat roof, and then it's divided about 60-40. One side's 2,100 square feet, and the other side is about 1,650. And we weren't sure which side we were going to go into, and it kind of surprised us, went a different direction, and we're going to move into the side we didn't really plan on moving into. But it's going to be a good starting point for us. It'll be a brick and mortar. Our hope is to continue to expand the Law Abiding Biker store, and that we have a brick and mortar, and maybe get into some of those other bigger distributors like Drag Specialties, like you mentioned earlier. But when you buy a property like that, obviously you want to have it inspected. And we not to talk poorly of the people that owned it before us, but they do business a little differently than we do.
Slumlords.
Okay, you can go ahead and say it if you want. They own the building. They've owned it for a long time, and they just have not put any money into it to speak of. The tenants have kind of put some Band-Aids on it and kept it going. But like the previous building, this building, we also saw it as a diamond in the rough. It had good bones. It was just a matter of, getting it at a reasonable price. And so one thing,
you all know how Lurch likes a good bone. Just saying.
we got the inspector in there, and he's like, boys, the roof probably going to need to be replaced in the next 2 to 3 years. It's got some minor plumbing and electrical issues that you're going to need to take care of. By the way, the heater, the gas furnace on one side that's from 1959 is going to need to be replaced. It was so old. In fact, we're working on putting the HVAC in that unit today. I was down there with the guys, and every one of the installers that walked in and saw that Carrier unit went, "Oh my God," because it had chrome. It said Carrier in chrome on it, kind of like you'd see like a car emblem on the side of the car. They were all drooling over that Carrier chrome piece. I'm sure. I don't know who's going to end up with it, but
I didn't think about that. One of those guys.
I go, who's going to end up with this thing? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that had to be replaced. So it's a long process of going back and forth with the other owners through two brokers. In case they've got a broker, we've got a broker, so got to work through it all. We kind of tallied up all the damage on stuff that needed to be replaced, and came back at him with a number, and and you were actually, I think, quite fair. In fact, our broker said to Ryan, you're being really reasonable on what you're asking for. So we asked for some money off, and they agreed, and partially. It's all part of the most deal. Part. Yeah. Got a decent amount off of what they were asking. And it took until January 6th of this year, so just a couple weeks ago, for us to finally acquire the building. And now we've started working on it. And the first thing is the HVAC that we're getting done right now.
Yep. So we knew going into it, we're going to have to put a bunch of money back into this thing. And there's some huge, but you talk about the roof?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I was doing some other stuff.
We're putting money aside to get that done. With the commercial roof, there's a couple options. We could peel it up, but if there's any asbestos in it, then it's going to cost quite a bit more. But one of the roofers that came out said it only has one roof on it right now, so we can re-roof it. So that might be the option we go, but that's going to need to be done. The one side of the building is currently a restaurant. I should say it's a place to eat food, because the kitchen's actually outside in what looks like a coffee stand, and then inside they've got tables and chairs set up. And before that, it was it's been rented by the same folks for a long time. Before that, it was a hair salon, and so it needs a lot of love, to be quite honest. It's going to need some plumbing. Some of the plumbing work that was done is kind of janky. No, it was janky.
Very janky.
Janky plumbing and janky electrical. We're going to have to go in and clean that up, and we're going to have to do some sheetrock work, and definitely some paint, some trim, some flooring. But again, the bones are good, nice open space, and so
right on a main street, the main street in the town of Union Gap, which then runs into Yakima. I mean, it sits. So we're very excited about that.
Good location, great
the location is unbelievable. Whether we continue to occupy it and or we just lease it, the fact that it's on that main street where there's a ton of commercial stuff, we were very pleased about that. And so just to dive and I didn't hear everything Lurch said, but most of it I had the camera on him and I was doing something else here. But the folks that ran it, the other owners, whatever, they've longtime owners of this property, and they just were really just milking the tit, so to speak. And that's fine. That's not a bad thing. That's just how they decided to do business. But they were really milking it. You could tell for the past years, they probably owned the building outright, and they were basically just not doing a damn thing to it and collecting rent. And so, it hasn't had all the updates that it needed, but like usual, we see, like you said, the diamond in the rough, and we've budgeted to make the upgrades that are needed. Of course, it's going to be busy. It's a lot of work on us. Luckily, I have Lurch full-time, Chief Operations Officer. He met the HVAC guys out there early this morning, and he's taking care of all that. The HVAC guys are in there right now for that side of the building to get heat back in there and AC. And we will be doing the roof, some paint, a lot of TLC, just different things. Again, they haven't done a damn thing to it. And whatever needed to be fixed, the tenants tried to over the years, likely because they didn't want their rent to go up. And that's just normal. That none of this is a surprise. This goes on all over the place. The less you tell the owner, the less likely that they're going to raise your rent. So it was time. And so I feel like, it's got good owners, and we're going to take great pride in this building, and we're going to make it something special for now. So we are going to be occupying one side. The nice thing about this is, and one of the things I mentioned earlier, is we do plan, we're mostly online, and we want to stay mostly online. But right now, our store in Richland, the one we lease, if people are in town or locals, Big Daddy does meet people there and allow them to pick up product right from the store. It's not necessarily open because we don't do that, but he does schedule that. And so we'll have that ability in Yakima. I'll just call it Yakima. It's Union Gap, but it's all part of the same. It's a suburb of. But we want that in Yakima in the future, to where a possibility that we could that's not going to happen right away because we need to get the store moved. We're at a big year now. We've got to get all this stuff done to the building. We're going to be busy. We got to have contractors in and out. We plan in May We're going on our Death Valley trip and our patron meetup in early May. Lurch will roll a commercial. All you patron members know, just head over to lawabidingbiker.com/2023 meetup. That's where all the information is for the patron member meetup. But right after that ride, we're coming back in late May and we're moving everything from Richland to the new building. So we got to have things ready to go. So it's going to be a busy, and I won't even get into everything else we're doing this year, but it's going to be a busy year. And Lurch is going to be super busy, not only with his regular responsibilities, but getting this building squared away to where we need it. So it is, like you said, I agree. The bones are good in the thing, and it wasn't completely trash. Don't get me wrong. It just fell short on a lot of things, and it just wants it wants a hug and some love. And so we're going to give it to that and just make it a better space. So, we can lease the sides out, depending on which side, exactly we're going to be in. We can lease those out and or lease the whole building. If we do grow and need even a bigger space of some sort, we'll have a good building there. But it'll be nice. What I was getting back to is, it'll be right. It's right off the freeway. So like literally there's an exit off I-82, a freeway, and within 3 minutes, basically you get off the freeway and you can be there. So all the bikers riding through, who want to either visit the store, and when we do get to a point where we are going to offer some brick and mortar hours so we can get our drag, distributorship, dealer and all, or I should say dealer and all that. It will be something that we can see in the future that you can, either make an appointment and or it'll just be open certain hours. And you can buy something right there and or pick up your item and or just visit and stop by and say hi to Big Daddy and whoever else is working in that store. With that said, one of the questions a lot of people might, have, are we going to move all operations there? No, we built this beautiful broadcast studio years ago, again, taking risks and building this thing, and the film where we film the mechanics of the bikes out in the Law Abiding Biker shop right over yonder, as I'm looking left. We're going to keep all that out here because it is set up for that. So out here at my house on my property, the separate building, the separate space is going to remain for now. The whole media side of the business. So nothing's going to change there. We're strictly going to have the store operations and the store functions out of that building at this point. Who knows what we'll do in the future, but for now, it makes sense. This is like the perfect space. We've built all this live stuff and all our cameras and acoustic foam, and we really set this up to be the media side of the business and all our media gears out here and all that kind of stuff. So
David Thompson wants to know if there's going to be an open bar.
Oh,
there is here. I don't know if you can see back here, but Ryan's he's a gracious host to us podcasters. We're podcasting obviously during the afternoon here, so we're not enjoying ourselves, but sometimes when we do them on the weekends or the evenings, we do have a little toot. But yeah, I don't know if we'll have an open bar down there. For liability reasons, we probably shouldn't. But
yeah.
You never know.
Sounds great.
As we mentioned earlier, we don't always do things the way they're supposed to be done. We just do the way we think they should. So you never know.
I've had to talk to Lurch. This is serious, and I want to bring this up. I actually wasn't.
Lord.
No, I wasn't. Seriously. The audience appreciates inside stuff.
Well,
I don't tell. Okay. So Lurch was having a meeting with me the other day, and I rarely tell Lurch no. Because, he's pretty wise on most stuff. I give him that. But he started doing all this research, and he really thought that we could take the other side of the building, and he wanted it to call it Happy Ending Massage.
Why not?
And he had already lined up a couple girls. And so, his thought was, you buy your biker parts and then you go over for a massage and a happy ending. But I told Lurch that we're not insured for that. But I appreciate the idea. And he walked away with a tear in his eye, all butt hurt. But Lurch, we can't do that. But I appreciate it.
I'm always thinking, always having ideas, and doesn't mean they're all going to work.
When I said we need to subsidize, I was hoping for something else.
Well, you weren't specific, so I gave you plenty of options.
But we appreciate it, Lurch. Thank you very much. Now, some guys in the chat are probably like, now that's what we're talking about, Lurch. Get that in there. So anyways, Yeah. What else about the building that we got moving right now? Yeah, what's it?
Popeye says, get the insurance.
No doubt, dude. Yeah, all we need. Actually, you could make half of it the massage and then half of it the bar that they want, and then the other half's the biker store, dude.
Yeah,
people would never leave.
We got a bar and grill.
People would never leave, bro. Yeah. I'm with Popeye. Yeah, yes, you can call. You can call the agent. Oh yeah, happy ending massage says it all, dude. I can only see the sign out front. But yeah. So what else do you want to say about this, Lurch? What else we got in our notes that we want to? Yeah.
I think we pretty much covered it all. To be honest with you, it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward. I'm going to be dizzier than a one-legged man in ass kicking contest because
yeah, buddy,
got to get that building up to speed. We'll have to talk, but I think I need a new title if I'm going to be doing that stuff too.
Nope.
No,
absolutely not.
You won't even give me a title. I'm not asking for a pay raise. Just give me an extra title.
You have plenty. You got so many hats, dude, and so many titles. That's all you need. Slumlord. That's what I'll give you, dude.
No, we're going to be the opposite.
The super.
There
How about that?
Just start referring to me as the soup.
We are going to wrap this up here in just a minute, but I first want to say, you want to ride longer?
Yeah.
Treat your ass with some respect already.
Yeah.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials. And it's unlike those gel pads that will leak if punctured, guys. The butt buffer is designed not to slide around on your seat, fits all motorcycles, installs in seconds, easily cleans, and helps to dampen those gall-darn vibrations. With plenty of models to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. And with that said, Popeye, we're going to be rocking the old butt buffers on our Death Valley trip coming up in early May. And we are so excited about that. I was texting Popeye this weekend, telling him how excited I was for the trip to get here already. So run through the chat. We'll wrap this thing up if there's any questions in there.
Well, here's a statement. Terry McDonald says we should put a weight room in for Popeye. So we're going to need to put some heavy things back there so he can pick them up and put them back down.
He could just bench press some of the girls.
Oh, there
you know what I'm saying? Just one in each hand. Popeye over there, just a couple ladies, one in each hand, dude.
Just doing curls. Presses.
Looking in the mirror, flexing his pecs, dude. And all that. He could stand in the window. See if,
I don't know if we have a mirror.
He could just stand in the window.
I don't think we got a mirror budget.
But we are super excited. It is a big deal for Law Abiding Biker Media, just because, like I said, we started 10 years ago, and these things have been talked about for so many years, not knowing if, you always dream and you hope and you budget and you put money back into your business, and we keep taking steps along the way. And we are hoping that this economy turns around. It has to at some point. I don't know how long that's going to be. But we're going to keep trucking along in the meantime. But it is neat to see something that I've probably said between conversations with Big Daddy and you about the future of Law Abiding Biker Media and where we would like to be when he retired and things like that. Big Daddy Kane has not seen the building yet, which is interesting. We've told him whenever he wants, we're going to take him through the building because we just kind of did that side of it. We're up here. We needed to purchase it. But I've told him when we were down at the Richland store location a couple weeks ago or whatever, we were down there with Oscar. I told him looking at that current store and the amount of room he's going to have is going to be really, really cool because he's made
functional.
A lot more functional. Yeah.
He's got I think it's 2 or 3 suites in a strip. I wouldn't call it strip mall, but it's like 4 rows of more like offices, truthfully. Yeah, office space. And the folks we've been leasing from have been great. They kind of hooked us up with 2 or 3 that all hooked together. So he's got to move around quite a few small rooms to get everything done. So to have it all in the open and not have to go around all these corners and just have a nice workflow, it's going to be really nice.
Yep. So I can't wait. I'm excited for Big Daddy to come up, even though it'll be funner once we get the store stuff in there. But it'll give Big Daddy a good visual to look at it and get in his mind, because we've got a lot of shelving down there, and it's going to be really opened up. And the location, there's plenty of parking for bikes, which is really nice, right off the main street. So parking's not going to be an issue. We'll be able to, and with the car stalls, we'll be able to line bikes up and stuff like that. but it'll be exciting. I know for Big Daddy too, to kind of visualize the space more. And I've got some ideas, but he's probably got better ideas because he knows how the store operations work a lot better than me. So he really, sky's the limit on how he wants to set up. And the nice thing is the side we're taking also is going to have a nice office space if we leave it that way, which I think we will.
I think it'd be nice to have an office down there.
An office down there, yeah.
You can have somebody, hell, I'll go down there and work down there from time to time, just depending on what store hours we want to have so that I can do my other work, but also be available for the store too.
Yep. Absolutely. So, thanks guys. It is, because of support by everybody here and the patrons and everybody that shops in the store and everybody that watches our video and our sponsors and everybody that supports what we're doing, that we can continue, like I say, even in these difficult economic times, to continue to try to just put that next foot in front of the other. I'm just going to tell you this. Yes, I'm excited. But these are and I played that video for you guys up front. These are the things that, I would be lying as the owner of the S Corp that it's not a big move. But it's very calculated, and we wouldn't have did it if we weren't at least fairly comfortable with it, but there is risk. There is risk involved because we don't know, is the economy going to stay really bad and just go back up, or is it going to stay bad and take a shit dive even worse for a short period of time? So it always worries me. Obviously, financially, we want to make sure we stay afloat, continue to serve bikers and all that kind of stuff. So I have been a little bit stressed here and there about it. And especially right now, it kind of sucks because we're in lieu right now because, one tenant's in their part, they're going to be in there full time. The other tenant's going to be out. And then we start getting it ready for us, but there's like a 5 or 6 month time here. And I'm still paying a lease on a building because we can't get out of that lease till July.
Into June. Yeah.
So it's everything. I can't, I hope that makes sense. I can't see it hasn't come to fruition.
There's a lot of balls up in the air right now. Yeah. And you know what?
You just leave your balls where they belong there, young man.
It's good to get
your balls out of the air.
You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? We talked about that kind of in the beginning.
I've been working on that for 10 years. I haven't mastered that yet, bro.
But you alluded to it in the beginning of the podcast is, if you were comfortable and not pushing forward, then this thing wouldn't grow. So, we're constantly pushing forward, trying to expand, do new things. And with new things comes some stress and anticipation and all that and uncomfortableness. But it's when you're uncomfortable that you're truly growing and changing, expanding. So we're just going to be uncomfortable for a long time.
Yep. I say a lot of prayers, truthfully, that and the good Lord has guided us along. We made a lot of big decisions, just like it was a huge stretch to even build the studio.
Yeah.
That was and I remember being stressed out about that. But I just do a lot of thinking about it, praying and hope that we've timed it right and that we've made good calculated risks. They're always risks, but at least if you can calculate those risks somewhat, it's kind of like our background. A lot of us law enforcement, you take a lot of calculated risks. Every day you go out, it's a risk, but you calculate, right? Like try to do things safer and better, even though there's always going to be some risk to things. And that's kind of the position we're in, but we're excited to share that experience with you guys. If you're, after we get up and running there, if you guys want to stop by and visit, it's also a place, you can meet and things like that. We'll see where it goes. But at first we just got to get moved in, get Big Daddy up and running. He's got to transition into retirement too. So remember, while he's transitioning the store, he's also transitioning into a retirement status. So he needs some time to do that. And so a lot of changes here. I'll be happy when I can report to you that we're all moved in and that the economy is at least still going, and that we're in the store and adding more products to the store and things like that. It'll definitely be cool to see. I'm excited. So there's still a lot of excitement coming. I'll be excited to actually visually see. Then it'll be more real to me. Right now, it's still a little bit surreal, just because we're not even in the building yet and there's tenants in there, but it will, and it's coming. So I look forward to that. And I have lots of excitement about that.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we love our patron members. Absolutely. We want you to become a patron member. The reason is we want to get to know you better. We'll offer you all the benefits that we have to offer for becoming a patron member. But hey, if the only way you want to support us is through a flat donation, well, we never buck at a flat donation. We want to thank the following people.
Lawrence Marshall of Davenport, Iowa, with a substantial donation. Douglas Emerson and John W. Bristol of Urbana, Illinois.
Lawabidingbiker.com/donate is where you go. Or the homepage, there's a big donate button. That's right. Helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank.
And keep this thing running on down the road.
There you go, guys. We really appreciate you being here. I know I rambled a lot, but I had a lot to talk about. And we like to be transparent here at Law Abiding Biker Media because we feel like we're doing a lot of this stuff. But at the end of the day, a business is not a business without its customers and without its followers and its, sponsors and patron members. So we feel like you're part of this ride and always have been as we built up. And so we like to be very transparent about what we do and what we are doing and not just get a new store location and things like that. We like to take you guys along for the ride because you are part of the ride. And so hopefully you guys enjoy us sharing the experience. We are just a bootstrap company and still are to this day. And hopefully some of those stories, if you haven't heard them before and you didn't know exactly where we came from, you know a little bit of our backstory and some of the struggles over the years and how we've just kind of, online. I think you and I, Lurch, have said this before, like,
you can't tell how big a company
we look
is
a lot
online.
bigger than we are online.
Yeah,
right?
And we learned a lot dealing with some other companies, when we were starting to carry their products, and they kind of led us behind the scenes and realized that when you look at this beautiful webpage, you assume there's a lot of people behind it, and there's a lot of these companies that there's, like us, 3-4 people running it. So, yeah, crazy.
It is easy these days to look big online, a lot bigger than you are. I mean, we're well known in the motorcycle space, don't get me wrong, but you can do more with less these days because of online and the internet and live broadcasts like this. But at the end of the day, there's, we want to get more paid employees, but we're real careful about scaling that way. I brought Lurch on full time over a year ago, I guess.
Yeah, year and a half ago.
And of course, Big Daddy will be moving into having more time, moving into a position that way with the store as he retires. So, but by far, we're not as big as some people get a hold of us and they think we're just some huge corporation. We're not. We just bought a building built in 1940.
Yeah,
but we're happy about it.
Put a little polish on her.
We're gonna have to polish it up. It's gonna look great. Nobody would know, but we have to make very sound financial decisions. We aren't just buying multi-million-dollar buildings and shit like that. I wish that would be great. We're still just a bunch of bikers serving bikers, trying to help as many as we can worldwide, doing the same thing bikers are doing, not some big corporation. We're out riding. We're doing patron meetups. We're riding multi-state, living, eating, and breathing the biker lifestyle, just like you guys, trying to stay at that level to bring that information to you guys. Not talking down at you, talking with you. So hopefully that makes sense.
Absolutely. Well put, sir.
Thank you. Whew. I'm getting all hyped up, drinking coffee this afternoon on this Monday.
I got water. Podcasting with water. It's not as much fun.
We did podcast Friday, this last Friday. It's Monday now. And it was a Friday, and it was afternoon, and Oscar was on. And so we had a lot of fun, and I actually cracked open a few beers.
I'll be uploading those in the patron accounts tomorrow. I didn't get her done over the weekend.
You guys are awesome, and thank you so much for being here and listening.